Hi everyone, welcome on Money. I am Mark, and today I have the pleasure to welcome back Domenic Carosa, founder and chairman of Banxa, a company that provides equal access to financial opportunities for people in every part of the world. And how they do it, they provide payments and compliance solutions to the digital assets. How are you, Domenic?
Yeah, very well. Thanks, Mark, and thanks for having me back on the program.
Yeah, since last time, a lot of stuff happened and evolved for your company. You had so many options added to banks, such as the crypto set functionality for your pound sterling, Australian dollar, new hirings, Mr. Loring, the JP Morgan executive, new partnerships. And one of the most interesting part was the financial statement. I would like to know if we could start by talking about the financial statement first.
Yeah, certainly. What I'll do, I'll just share my screen. It'll be easier for me to sort of take you through the financials and give you a bit of a feel of the business, and then we can sort of talk more about some of the other updates with regards to the company. So we work on a 30th of June fiscal year. We just reported our audited accounts only a couple of days ago, and so just to sort of elaborate in terms of some of the highlights, we did just shy of 700 million of transaction value, which is about just over 500 million in US dollars. And the reason we are basically I'm mentioning AUD is because that's our functional currency, because the company started there. But obviously, as we migrate to North America, we'll be moving across to the US dollar. We did revenue of just around the sort of 46 mark. And then we've got liquid assets, so cash and cash equivalents of around $25 million. So a strong balance sheet to really allow us to do all the things that we need to do. And then adjusted EBITDA of 1.7 million AUD or 1.2 million US. That's for the fiscal year. That excludes non-cash items and public company costs. And then obviously a stat loss of 5.7, which included public company listing and all of those sort of related costs. So that's basically the high level numbers. I've got some other slides to sort of go through as well. What you can basically see here as well is our TTV, the revenue, and a big jump, almost 900% from FY20 to FY21. Same with the actual revenue, was almost up 600%. And interestingly, our operating expenses increased. That's because we've been adding to the team, and coming back to a point that I've made previously, if we want to win the gold medal, we need to basically have the gold medal winning team. And so we've really been adding significantly to the business. In terms of GP, or sometimes referred to as the take rate, it's around that sort of 2.5% number, which is roughly around the industry. And we continue to make investments into people, into technology as well. And then here, as you can see, the 1.7 million positive number. And this basically just gives a breakdown of some non-cash items, share-based payments, which is another non-cash item, and then listing costs of 2.7 million, because you may recall we listed the company in January 2021. And so on a normalized or adjusted basis, we're actually very positive. And from an operating cash flow, we had negative operating cash flow 600k Aussie, which is about 350k US. So we're actually very, very pleased with that overall result. This gives a bit more breakdown in regards to the balance sheet and the cash, the receivables, and the deposits that we've got with exchanges. So it adds up to around the $25 million mark. So in terms of quick ratio of over 4 and net working capital ratio of just over 18. So once again, and it should also be noted that the convertible note we had on the balance sheet as of July, that's now been fully converted. The only other point I'm going to add, and this is in our financials, or specifically the MD&A, and that is around the revenue recognition policy. It can be a little bit confusing, and so I'm going to try and sort of explain that.
Okay.
In terms of our agency revenue, so there's 2 revenue streams. When we on-ramp, and that is when a customer buys crypto from us, or really from one of our partners, we work on an agency basis. And what that means is that we will basically get the coin from our upstream provider, and then we will send it directly to the customer. And then what we account for our revenue is just our margin, our 4 or 5% margin. That's what's called agency revenue.
So when would you say, sorry, yeah. Would you just say, let's say for Binance would be an agency revenue?
It's actually a combination. So when someone is on-ramping, going from fiat to crypto, that's on-ramping, and we account for that revenue as agency, which is only a percentage of the total coin that they've bought. If someone is off-ramping, and that is using the sell function, where they're going from Bitcoin or Ethereum into another coin, then at that point, it's accounted for as principal revenue, which means if you've just off-ramped $1,000, we account for $1,000 of revenue, and then $960 of cost of sales. It's an accounting nuance, and without getting too technical, it's because the coin touches our wallet, even if it's literally for seconds, it has to be counted out under accounting standards as a principal transaction. So it's let's just say this is broken down. We've provided some more color around this, specifically with regards to the MD&A. So I would encourage shareholders to go in there and have a look. But really, in my view, the best way you want to work out how the company is going in terms of performance, look at our TTV, total transaction value. That's the best way to look at what we do and how we do it.
And if I'm not wrong, for the month of September, you got a TTV growth of 34%, right?
Yeah, so the month of September, we did 117 million for September. And we will be releasing our October numbers very soon. Obviously, I can't tell you what they are, but what I will say is the trend is our friend.
This is perfect, because now, like, every month, for me, it's like the sort of like Christmas gift. Every time I see the release made by Banxa about the TTV, and as you said, like the uptrend is your friend. Every time I was thrilled to see that it's going on the right way. There's a great growth, and yeah, and I mean, like, so the functionalities you guys have added to Banxa, such as the for the euro, the pound sterling, and the Australian dollar, I guess it might be adding some more leverage for your company, right?
Correct. We in September. So just to give some context to the investors out there, most of the TTV, total transaction value, that we did in the last 12 months is the fiat on-ramping. So going from US, Euro, Canadian dollar into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other coins. We just turned on the fiat off-ramping that allows consumers, through our partners, to go from Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other coins into cash. And so the reason it's obviously taken longer, there's more demand for on-ramping than what there is off-ramping. We're now starting to see that there being more demand for off-ramp, and there are extra steps in the process. So that we had to get regulatory sign-off to actually offer off-ramping. It's I guess it's part of the secret sauce that Banxa provides to its B2B customers, is that we take care of the payments as well as the compliance and all the regulations around that. And so we've turned that on, and now our partners have to integrate that. There's a small amount of development work they need to do, because we need to do some deep integration into the wallets. And then very soon we will have, in my view, a large number of our partners allowing their customers to go from off-ramping, to go from Bitcoin and Ethereum and other coins into cash.
Okay, so basically, what you were telling me is, like, every time there's a new demand from the clients, the customers, you're trying to adjust it to the fastest as possible. That's it.
Yeah. So we will clip. So when we off ramp, we will just clip the ticket. We'll make similar margins that we make with the on ramping. And the reason why I'm so excited about this is there's actually not that many companies around the world that are actually offering off ramping. It's actually quite a unique value proposition in terms of the coins that we offer, as well as the currencies. Today we offer 3 currencies. We're going to be adding more currencies very shortly.
Okay.
And something that I think is going to be, very well received from our customers.
Okay, so because I'm curious, when you say new currencies, so right now I feel like you're targeting the East. Could we see? So right now you're with the euro and the livs sterling. Could you see like you're trying to target Asia, sort of?
Yeah. So I think the next currencies that we're going to add. So we added AUD, GBP, as in Great British Pounds, and Euro. We will be adding. It's on the roadmap for both US dollar and Canadian dollars.
Okay.
That's the next step. So that will be transfer into your bank account, and then the following step after that will be to look at some of the other, let's call it outside of the top 5 currencies around the world. And obviously we're looking at Asia, we're looking at Latin America, and that's really part of, I guess, once again, part of the value proposition at Banxa is adding more payment methods for our partners. And maybe this is a good segue into really sort of let's call it the business, some of the key highlights. And because I know we were talking earlier with regards to the team, and as we say internally, if we want to win the gold medal, we need to have a gold medal winning team. We've added a number of key people. For example, Jan Lorek, who's ex at JP Morgan, and Wirex has recently joined the team as our European Managing Director. We've added Stefan, who was the ex-head of compliance at the Luxembourg Stock Exchange. And so in that respect, it's really building the team, and then adding more partners. And sometimes, partners can be classified as customers. And as we've mentioned in this deck, we expect to bring on board another 7 to 10 partners just in the month of November.
Oh, okay. Okay, it's very impressive because we all know how important it is to have partners, because it gives more leverage to the company to expand further. And the fact that you say like 7 to 10 partners just for November, it's really like almost like 2 new partners a week, which is quite impressive. And so because everything is like short term, and what I think is crazy is like when you show me all these numbers and you're just like right now the growth insights, your company is only valued at I think it's 150 million as I am talking. I'm gonna check right now.
Yeah, it's about 150 mil Canadian, about 110 million US.
So I feel like the company is still way undervalued compared to its peers. If I'm talking about price ratio, we are, on our TV revenue, we're only at 5.4. And when we compare to all the other companies, it's what I think is crazy, because your fundamentals are here, the high percentage held by insiders, the cash, the revenue, the new partnership ramping up. And when I see where your company is traded compared to the others, I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I think partly it's got to do with we're the new kids on the block. If you look at most of those companies there, and I haven't done the exact analysis, but most of those companies have been listed for many, many years. And I mean, if you take Voyager, for example, I think they've been listed for about 3 years, and same with Big. PayPal's been listed forever, as we all know. I mean, Coinbase was the recent one, and Galaxy has also been listed for a number of years. So they've had time to really build, the brand in the marketplace, trust as well. And we've been listed since January, so we've been listed for basically 10 months, and hence I think because of that, it's just going to take us time, a little bit more time in order to basically continue building relationships in the market, because most investors have never actually heard of Banxa before. And then these are the listed comparables. And interestingly, this is kind of the sector heading up. In October, so last month, there were a couple of our competitors, private company competitors, that actually raised money. And so Ramp is a startup in the space. They raised at a $300 million valuation. MoonPay, based on market intelligence, has got annualized revenues only a little bit more than us, maybe 30% more than us, and they raised at a $3 billion valuation. And so investors can get this deck and they can basically go and search online or click those links and actually read those articles themselves. So I think what this basically tells me is there is significant upside in terms of Banxa as a company and as an investment. That's my own personal view, and obviously, I'm an insider and I'm a big shareholder in the company, so of course I'm going to say that. But all I tell investors is go and do your own research and look at the comparables out there in terms of the other companies in the space. Check out both Ramp and MoonPay and what they actually raised at, and compare them to Banxa and compare our numbers. And I think there'll be interesting opportunities coming from that when investors actually do some work on the company.
Yeah, to me, it's like the type of investment I really like when the fundamentals are here, and to me, it's just a question of time until, if we're just talking about proper stock price, the stock price starts to take off. And like this is why on our website Money, this is the top. It's part of the top 5 stock to own, and it's ranked first because the fundamentals are here. There is a great management. Everything is there, and this is why I do believe in your company. And you've been talking a lot about the Nasdaq uplisting starting 2022. Could you talk a little bit more about this?
Yeah, certainly. I'm just going to try and find that that particular slide. So excuse me for jumping. Here we go. So we're listed on the TSX.V in January this year, in January 2021, and a little bit after that we listed on the OTCQX and the FSE, which is Frankfurt. But really, in my view, Banxa belongs on Nasdaq. Once we're listed for 12 months on the TSX.V, which is our home exchange, we can actually migrate to Nasdaq through. I call it the fast track process, and so I can't tell you exactly when in 2022, but what I can say is that we've already started working on it. We're working with legal counsel on the process, and watch this space with regards to a Nasdaq listing. And I think, in my view, I personally, if I was a betting person, I'd say that's where I think the kind of real re-rating will come. Obviously the Nasdaq, it's one of the deepest technology investment markets in the world, and many firms and investment funds really understand this particular sector, and so for me, moving across to Nasdaq is just a natural progression as a listed entity. We actually already meet the minimum Nasdaq requirements. We just need to wait until our 12-month anniversary before we can finally lodge all the documentation, and then just wait, and hopefully we can announce sometime early in the new year a Nasdaq listing. Yeah.
I'm sorry, could you just go back on the fundamentals, where you have all the outstanding shares, this type of number? Because I really would like to hide these numbers, because just to show that, like, fully diluted, your company has 52 million shares, which is like, compared to other companies, it's really nothing, And I think it's what like investors should associate, because when I'm talking about fundamentals, I'm talking also about this type of number. And I was checking, a lot of times when companies uplist to Nasdaq, they have to do a reverse split to reach a certain stock price. And I feel like yours won't have to do that. And also it's like a great thing to highlight about it. And yes, this is what I really like about the company, knowing that, like, I can just talk about, the company Highta that had to do a reverse split, and after, like, the stock collapsed when it went to Nasdaq, because it's like if they faked their stock price. And like, here all the fundamentals are here. And yeah, I feel like you're totally right when you say that Banxa belongs to Nasdaq.
Yeah, agreed. We've still got a lot of work to do, and really just kind of really in summary, and I'm going to sort of jump quickly to, and by the way, this deck's available on the Banxa.com website. Obviously, the focus is, continue building TTV by growing the B2B customer base, adding new crypto licenses around the world, adding new payment methods, adding more coins. We have about 40 coins today. We're going to add another 30 or 40 over the next 12 months, and then just continue expanding our global coverage, and ultimately providing our customers, like Binance and Huobi and OKX and KuCoin and many others, an easy way to help customers go from the fiat world into the digital asset world.
Wow, this is interesting. There's a lot of key points, key catalysts, but like, no, I'm not one. How do you say? I forgot the English for it. I'm not scared at all for your company. I'm pretty sure that all these ones will be reached like anytime soon. So great to see that Banxa is evolving, and it's always a pleasure to talk with you and to see that like things are going fast and well for you and your company.
Fantastic, Mike. Thank you for having me, and have a great day.
Thank you. Have a great day too.